Hello and welcome to Wellbeing Café. Thank you so much for joining for day 14 of our month-long Integrate journey. In today's class, we will work through the entire body and take gentle recovery poses that will help us to stretch out the muscles on our strength journey here. For today's class, you may want to have a pillow or block and a blanket, but the props are optional and you can always do the class without them as well. Today we'll get started on our bellies. Bring your forehead to the tops of your hands. Allow the feet to roll inward and the heels outward. Settle into your space here. Allow the body to calm down, the heart rate to slow. Expand your belly with each inhale and exhale. Give yourself a moment of rest here. Check in with how you feel. Deep inhale and exhale. Gently shift your hips side to side. An option to bend through the knees and windshield wiper the feet left and right. Find a static position and then send the legs out long. An option here in our first pose to bring your blanket or block next to your right side. It can be useful for adding a little additional padding underneath the leg to bring the ground to you. Send the right arm out long. Bend through the left knee. Inhale. And exhale, press into the left hand, roll over onto the right shoulder to any extent. And the left leg can stay up like this, landing on top of your block or bolster, reaching for the ground. Or you can send it out long. A fist can come underneath the head for additional support. If that feels good, breathe into your chest. Settle into this pose. Notice where you feel the sensations. Deep inhale. And exhale, release back to your belly. Bring the forehead to the top of the hand. Shift the hips side to side and tap out the right fingertips. And as you're ready, we'll slowly set up for the other side. If you used a prop on the first side, then slowly shift it over to the left. Send the left arm out long, bend through the right knee. Inhale here, and exhale as you press through the left hand and roll onto the left shoulder. A fist can come underneath the head for additional support, and the leg can remain open, targeting more of the hip area here, or you can extend it out long if you'd like to mainly focus on the shoulder and chest. Identify the parts in your body that feel tense in this position. Imagine them in your mind as you inhale. And exhale, send your breath to those areas and allow them to release. Deep inhale. And exhale, slowly return to the belly, taking your time to rest. The forehead comes to the top of the left hand. As you shift the hips side to side and tap out the left fingertips. Slowly return to center. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders, elbows towards the sky. Inhale, slowly lift the chest up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift the chest up. An option here to lift the hands off the ground. Exhale, lower. One more time, inhale, lift up. Option to lift the hands and lift the feet as well, if that feels good. Find engagement for one more breath, inhale. And exhale, lower all the way down to the belly. Hands underneath the forehead, shift the hips side to side. As you're ready, gently lift the chest up. An option to keep the elbows out wide for a lesser back bend. Or to intensify the stretch, you can bring the elbows underneath the shoulders. Press into the hands, pull the chest through the biceps, and open up here. Gently tuck the chin to elongate the spine. If you feel any pain in the hip points, then you can bring a blanket underneath the hips for additional cushioning here. And if there are any odd sensations in the lower back, engage the core gently to bring the back bend more to the upper back. Bend through the right leg. The gaze goes over the left shoulder, slow and controlled. See if you can spot your right foot in peripheral vision. Inhale. Exhale, slowly return to center. Inhale, bend through the left leg. Slowly turn your head towards the right. See if you can locate your left foot. Exhale, return to center. One more time, just like that. Inhale, bend the right leg. Gaze over the left shoulder. Long through the spine. Exhale, return to center. Inhale, bend the left leg, gaze goes over the right shoulder. Exhale, return to center. Deep inhale in Sphinx pose. Exhale, shift the weight into the wrists as you send the elbows outwards and lower your forehead to the ground. Shift the hips side to side. An option to windshield wiper once again. Send the legs out long. Slowly draw your hands underneath your shoulders, elbows towards the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, engage the core as you lift into tabletop position. Walk the knees underneath the hips, the wrists underneath the shoulders. Once you arrive, make gentle movements in the body. Maybe you circle through the hips in one direction and then the other. Or invite cat-cows here, opening up through the chest as you inhale. And closing off as you exhale for cat pose. For the next few moments, make these movements your own. An additional option here to turn fingertips towards the thighs and roll backwards and forwards over the wrists to loosen any tension in the forearms. 3 more breaths of movement. Where can they take you? And return to a static tabletop position as you're ready. For the next pose, you may want to have a blanket underneath the knees for additional support. Inhale, lower the belly, raise the gaze. Exhale, round back into child's pose. Bring your weight into the feet as you sweep the arms backwards. Palms facing towards the sky, forehead reaches for the ground. This is a nice counter stretch to Sphinx pose. We're getting more into spinal flexion, whereas in Sphinx pose, we got into spinal extension. Notice how this feels in your spine. An option to stay here in child's pose, or to venture into rabbit pose by placing the top of the head on the ground, lifting the hips up and reaching your hands to the outside of the feet. As you round through the spine, press the back between the shoulders here. Just ensure that there's little to no weight in the head. And if you have a history of neck problems, I would advise against this pose. Deep inhale. And exhale, we'll all meet in child's pose. One more full body breath, inhale. And exhale, slowly come up onto hands and knees. Wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Bump the hips side to side. Feel free to go through one more round of cat-cows here. And press into the hands. Inhale, extend the right leg out long. The hips square downward. Find strength for just a moment here. Inhale. Exhale, bend through the right knee. Bring the right knee to the outside of the right elbow. Kick the right foot towards the left wrist and lower the shin down. The shin does not have to be parallel to the front of the mat here. Tuck the back toes under and walk the knee backwards to any extent for pigeon pose. It may feel nice to have a blanket or pillow underneath the left knee. And if one of your hips is lifted up, an option to bring your pillow, block, or blanket underneath the lifted hip for additional support. Stay up here if it feels good. Or inhale. Find length in the spine. Flex through the toes. Exhale. Fold to any degree. You can come down to the elbows. The elbows can be on blocks as well, or something else to lift you up. Take your time settling in. And if this does not feel good on your back knee, an additional option to come into 90-90 by leaning into the right hip and bending through the left knee. From here, you can also fold over the front shin, and it will target the glute area in a similar way. Wherever you are, deep inhale. And exhale, deepen into the pose. Stay here in sleeping pigeon, or an option to lift the chest up gently. And to thread the left arm underneath the right as you turn the chest towards the right side. The right hand can come to the top of the right thigh as you twist open to the side. This may intensify the sensation in the right glute muscle. Send your breath to any areas that feel tension here. Deep inhale. Exhale. If you are in the twist, slowly unwind. We'll meet in sleeping pigeon pose. One more full body inhale. And exhale completely. Gently lift the chest up. If you are in 90-90, re-extend the left leg into pigeon pose. Tuck the left toes under and walk your left knee forward. Shift the weight into the hands and make your way into tabletop position. Shift the hips side to side. Feel the difference in the two. Then find a static position. Press into the hands. Inhale, extend the left leg out long. Exhale, bend through the left knee and bring the left knee to the outside of the left elbow. Kick the left foot towards the right wrist and allow the shin to fall somewhere in between your hip and the wrist. Tuck the back toes under and walk the knee backwards to any extent. Noting here that you can come into 90-90 if that feels better in your body. If the left hip is lifted up quite a bit, you can bring a pillow or block or blanket underneath the left glute here. Flex through the left toes to protect the knee. Inhale. Exhale, deepen into the pose. To any extent, you can stay up tall if you feel a good line of tension there, or come down to the elbows. And notice how the left glute feels here. There's a good chance that it feels different than the right. In what ways does this feel different for you? And is there one glute that is more tight for you than the other? Simply notice the differences in the hips and accommodate for when you need to, maybe placing a block underneath the glute or coming into the modified pose. Stay here in sleeping pigeon, or thread the right arm underneath the left as you bring the right ear closer to the ground. The left hand comes to the top of the left thigh as you turn open towards the left side. Breathe into the opening of the left glute. Allow this to feel good in your body. There's no need to reach an edge of intensity here. If you are in the twisted variation, slowly bring your left hand closer to your face. Lift the chest up, release the right arm, and lower the chest back towards the ground. We'll meet in sleeping pigeon. And all together, full body inhale, feel expansion. And exhale, feel release. Slowly make your way onto your hands. Tuck the back toes under and return to tabletop position, taking your time as you walk the knee underneath the body. Shift the hips side to side. And take 3 breaths of any intuitive movements that feel good here. Once you feel evened out, return to tabletop position. Bring the knees out wide. Big toes come to touch. Plant the left hand on the ground. Inhale, right arm reaches towards the sky. Exhale, thread the needle. Right arm under left, but this time, bring the hips back towards the heels. Keep the shoulders squared towards the ground for modified closed wing pose. The left arm can stay out in front, or you can thread it across the body. Allow your head to hang heavy here. And feel free to support yourself with a blanket in between the heels and glutes here, or underneath the chest to give yourself some more room in between the chest and the arms. Take all the time you need setting up. As you inhale, feel expansion between the shoulder blades. And as you exhale, feel relaxation as you melt deeper into the pose. If both arms are crossed, slowly bring the left arm out in front of you. We'll meet in this half version of closed wing pose. Deep inhale all together. And exhale. Inhale, lift the hips up. Bring your weight into the left hand. Slide it underneath your shoulder. Right arm reaches towards the sky. Exhale, place the right hand on the ground. Shift the hips side to side. Maybe you go through another cat-cow here. Shift the weight into the right arm. Inhale, left arm reaches towards the sky. Exhale, thread the left arm behind the right. Keep the shoulders squared towards the ground as the hips come backwards. Crawl the right hand forward. Lower the forehead towards the ground. You can stay here with the right arm extended out long, or thread the right arm across to lower down into the full version of closed wing. Deep inhale, fill up the entire body with air. And exhale, deepen. Deep inhale. And exhale. If your right hand is crossed underneath your body, slowly return it out front. Lower the chest to the ground once again. All together, inhale. And exhale, place the weight into the right hand. Lift the hips up. Free the left arm. And bring both hands underneath the shoulders. Walk the knees underneath the hips. Shift the hips side to side once again. Draw a circle with the hips here. Tuck the toes under and draw a half circle with the hips in one direction. And then the other. And one more time, just like that. Hips go back and right, all the way around to the left. Then hips go back and left, to the right, all the way to the top right corner. Inhale, lower the belly, raise the gaze, cow pose. Exhale, round back into child's pose. Walk the hands forward. One breath here, inhale. And exhale. Inhale, gaze between the thumbs. Exhale, slide forward on the belly. Bring the hands underneath the forehead, shift the hips side to side. From here, gently lift the chest up, thread the right arm underneath your left, roll onto your right side, and stay here. Bend through the left knee and reach for the tops of the toes. If you have a strap or a sock or belt, something that could act like a strap, you can bring it around the ankle and pull it closer to your glute here. And if this does not feel good in your knees or shoulder, you can also stand up and do a traditional quad stretch as well. Deep inhale. Exhale, release the left leg. Bring your hand next to your face and roll onto the belly. Gently lift onto the left arm as you free the right arm. Remain lifted here and thread the left arm underneath the right. Roll onto your left shoulder and onto the side of the left hip. From here, bend through the right knee and reach for the right foot, maybe using a strap to bridge the gap here. Press the hips forward. Find opening in the front side of the right quad. Deep inhale. Exhale, release the right foot. Bring your right hand next to your face, but this time roll over onto your back. Hug both knees into the chest as you arrive, rock side to side. The feet come to the wide edges of the mat. Bring the hands next to the Achilles tendons. Inhale, lift the hips up. And exhale, lower them 1 centimeter to the right. Hug the right knee into the chest and send the left leg out long. Guide the right leg over top of the left side. Tee out the arms. The gaze can go towards the extended right arm if that feels safe in your neck. Otherwise, you can gaze towards the ceiling as well. You can use your left hand to guide your hips down and across if that feels good. Deep inhale. Exhale, slowly unwind, return to center. Hug the right knee into the chest and set the right foot to the outer edge of the mat. Lift the left leg up, hug it into the chest, and place it to the left side of the mat. Bring the hands down towards the ankles. Inhale, lift the glutes into the air. Set the glutes 1 centimeter to the left. Extend the right leg out long. Hug the left knee into the chest, and then guide the left knee up and over the right side. Shift through the shoulders so that both can touch the ground. Tee out the arms. The gaze can follow the left hand or remain towards the ceiling. An option to bring your right hand to your left hip point to guide it down and away to increase the sensation of this twist. Deep inhale. And exhale, slowly return to center. Hug the left knee into the chest. And then set the left sole of the foot on the outer edge of the mat. Bring the right knee to the chest. And set the right foot to the outside of the mat. Lift the hips into the air and set them into the center. Before we continue on into our body scan, I'd just like to say thank you so much for joining for day 14 of our month-long Integrate journey. I hope you enjoyed today's practice, and if you did, please leave a like and let me know how this went for you in the comments. Additionally, if you'd like to keep up with future content here on Wellbeing Café, then please subscribe. We'd love to have you as a part of our Wellbeing Café community. From here, you can allow the knees to fall inward and bring one hand to heart, one hand to belly. An option to stay here if this feels good. It can feel pretty nice in the lower back. Or an option to send the legs out long and come into Savasana with hands out to the sides and legs extended. Choose whichever resting pose feels best to you. In whichever resting pose that you chose, begin to settle in. Bring gentle awareness to the top of your head. And with every inhale and exhale, allow that awareness to expand. Reaching into the jaw to the throat to the shoulders, shoulders to elbows, elbows to wrists, and wrists to fingertips. Allow awareness to expand from the chest to the belly, the hips, thighs, knees, calves, ankles, and toes. Fill your entire body with awareness expand, and allow your body to release into this moment. For the next few moments, simply allow your body and mind to rest here and just be. Stay here in Shavasana for as long as you would like. An option to pause the video here to continue your stay. Otherwise, invite gentle movements into the fingers and toes. Circle through the wrists and ankles. Reawaken your body. Inhale, extend the arms overhead, stretch the legs out long as you point and flex the toes. Bend through one knee and then the other, and slowly make your way onto one side. Take one full body inhale here, feel expansion. And exhale completely. Slowly, and as you're ready, lift into a comfortable seated position. The eyes can remain heavy here. Inhale, arms reach high overhead, palms come to touch. Exhale, lower thumbs to heart center. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings everywhere find peace and happiness, and might my words, thoughts, and actions create a space of peace and happiness for others. Slowly lift the thumbs to third eye center and bow towards one another to close off the practice. And as you're ready, gently lift up and blink open the eyes to take in the space around you. Thank you so much for joining for day 14, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.